Hi, this is Catherine Pohl, and this is my career map. There's a snowplow going in the background, so I apologize if it's on this recording. Okay. In my early years, my mother is a singer and performer, and my father is a lawyer and writer, so from a young age I was exposed to a lot of different kinds of art, music, theater, and literature. You name it, I read it, heard it, saw it, whatever the case may be. I was always singing from when I was a baby, putting on productions in the backyard with my sister and our neighbors, and listening to records and tapes, singing along, dancing. I always had a very vivid imagination, and at a young age I started listening to classical music and classical composer story tapes to help me fall asleep. It was the only thing that would get me to sort of chill out at night, so I was always listening to music, I guess you could say, even in my sleep. When I was in third grade, my family bought a piano, and I started taking lessons. And through the remainder of elementary school and through middle school, my music teachers all around, privately and school-wise, were pretty terrible. So through that part of my life, I became more interested in writing and English. And music sort of took a back seat because I wasn't terribly inspired by those teaching it. By high school, I got more involved with music. I had much better teachers at school, and I continued to write, winning 2 poetry awards, one of which was national, so that was pretty exciting in high school. On my 16th birthday, my mother bought me an acoustic guitar, which was a really exciting moment as well. And senior year, I had a great piano teacher who allowed me to play a lot more of what I wanted to play as opposed to what I should play. So it really changed how I viewed playing piano and what I could accomplish with playing it. College was an interesting decade. I applied to college with the intention of becoming an English major, and I attended Emerson College in Boston in 2001 and 2 as a writing, literature, and publishing major. A friend in the dorm taught me basic guitar chords within the first month of school, and I began writing more songs than anything else. Not long after that, I discovered that I couldn't participate in school theater unless it was my major, and considering that I was realizing I really wanted to pursue music, that didn't work out so well, and I transferred to Berklee College of Music, also in Boston, in 2003. Shortly after I transferred, I performed at the Apollo Theater, Amateur Night at the Apollo in Harlem, New York, and that was a really interesting experience. Learning the value of critique and the craziness of audiences. Google Apollo audiences if you don't know what I'm talking about. I graduated Berklee in 2007 with a Bachelor in Music and a concentrate in songwriting. Overall, this time I definitely learned a lot of different things, and with the songs that I had written and gotten critiqued at Berklee and rewritten, with all of those finished after I graduated, I recorded the various parts of what would become my album that I put together with musician friends playing the other instruments in 2007. Then in May 2008, I flew to California to have a friend of mine from Emerson actually mix the album for a pan of homemade brownies. I literally made him brownies and he did the entire thing. After meeting my now fiance in 2009 and working a whole lot of bad jobs in between, he is a web developer, and he helped me complete my long-neglected album art, which really took a backseat to a lot of other things after leaving Berklee. And then a high school classmate of mine actually mastered the album in 2010, finally, so it took a really long time to get it all done. And then in March of 2011, I held an album release party, which was family and friends, and it was really exciting to finally have everything culminate with people hearing what I had been working on. Music and my master's degree has been a tough road. In 2009, while buying reeds for my brother's clarinet at a local music store near where I live, I was offered a job teaching music by the owner of the store. She has lots of different teachers work as subcontractors teaching different instruments within the store. And since then, since it was sort of a happy accident all of it happened, but I've taught piano, guitar, and voice privately, and I still am. I have far less students than I used to though. In August of 2012, I began the interactive media here at Quinnipiac, and in the midst of all of this, realizing how difficult it is to balance jobs, a music career, and a master's degree, I've decided to take a break from performing at least until I'm done with my master's. It's just, there are only so many hours in a day. And to the future, I got engaged this past March, and I'm graduating in May and then getting married a month later, so it's a very busy spring. After that, I certainly hope to continue doing creative things, allowing me to write and make music, my two most favorite things in the world. And I hope to move somewhere warmer than upstate New York. I've lived here most of my life and it couldn't be colder. And that being said, I'd love to be able to meld my passions with what I've learned in the ICM program moving forward. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Thanks for listening.